Hello students, welcome to part 3 of the surface area supernote. We're going to go on to question 3 on our worksheet called triangular prisms with right triangle bases. So here's the 3D diagram that I've drawn for you. So we're going to recreate this in SketchUp 8. We see here that in our base, think of this as the shape's base, we have a base of 3 centimeters and we have a height of 4 centimeters. So let's draw that let's draw that triangle in SketchUp 8. So let's switch over to SketchUp 8. You might have to open SketchUp 8 and open your surface area part 1 sketch. And then the last time we were on this sketch, we were looking at the rectangle-based rectangular prism. So let's come above ground now. And let's just get our bearings here. Where are we? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create the triangular prism here. Okay, so let's go to Camera, Standard Views, Fronts. So let's move down away from the girl so that we've got room for our next shape. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, let's click on the rectangle tool. Let's start near the red line. Click once, don't hold the mouse button, and pull upwards. So what we want to do is we want to create a rectangle that's 3 centimeters, comma, space, 4 centimeters tall. So let's hit enter. Okay. So we have a base of 3 centimeters. We have a height of 4 centimeters. So let me zoom in. Now let's use the pencil tool and let's cut this rectangle in half across its diagonal so that we've got the proper triangle base for our triangular prism. Let's use the eraser tool. Let's get rid of this half here. And there we go. We've got our base ready to go. Okay, so if you look back on your sheet, we can see that there is a depth of 6 centimeters. So let's create that in SketchUp. Let's click on the push-pull tool. Let's click once on the base and push back. And let's type 6 cm. Hit enter. All right, there we go. That's our shape. Okay, let's zoom in. All right, so let's create our labels. Click on the 3D text tool. Let's type in base. And there's not a lot of room here. Let's see if our height of 0.5 centimeters is going to be okay. Okay, so that's okay. So we've got the base, put it there. And let's go around to the opposite side. And let's create the label there. Click on 3D text tool, type in base, and a height of 0.5 cm. Place. And let's place that right there. Okay, so let's orbit around to the front. All right, so let's type in our measurements. Now remember, the base of the base was 3 centimeters. So let's click on the 3D text tool, 3 cm, a height of 0.5 cm, click place. So let's place it down here near the bottom. Okay. Now let's click on the 3D text tool. Remember the height of the triangle was 4 cm and the height of 0.5 cm. Click place and we'll put it here. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay. And let's use the rotate tool. Let's click once and draw a line across. Click a second time and pull that way. All right, let's use the move tool. Let's get that away and let's get it on the actual face. Pretty hard to manipulate here. See if I can get as close to the edge as I can. That's probably all I'm going to be able to do right there. Okay. All right. So you can see from our 3D diagram that there is also this side here of the triangle. It's called the hypotenuse, which you will learn next year in grade 8, is 5 centimeters. However, that is not really helpful for the triangle. It is helpful for this face right here, but we're going to get to that. So let's go to the back and let's create those two measurements again. Remember, the base of the base was 3 centimeters. So let's type in 3 cm, a height of 0.5 cm. Let's place it near the bottom here. And we have a height of 4 cm, 0.5 cm. Place. Let's see if I can fit it in here. Let's see what happens. Click on the rotate tool. Okay. And let's see if I can get it down here in the corner. Oh yeah. So that will fit really nicely there. Okay. So the thing about a triangular prism with a right triangle base is that it's essentially two triangles that are surrounded or connected by three rectangles. So what we have to do is we have to label the edges, the measurements of these rectangles. Okay, so let's start with this big one here. Okay, so according to our 3D diagram, we see that this slanted edge is 5 centimeters. Okay, so let's use that information. So that means this edge here is 5 centimeters. So let's click on the 3D text tool, 5 cm, 0.5 cm as the height, and I'm going to place it right there. Let's rotate, and I'll place it right there. See if I can move it a little bit closer to the edge. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, now do you remember the distance that we pushed it back? In other words, the depth of this triangular prism? If you can't remember, look at the 3D diagram here. It was 6 centimeters. Okay, so let's create that label. 6 centimeters, and we've got lots of space on this rectangle. It's going to be pretty easy. Click place, and let's place it right here near the bottom. Okay. Okay, so let's go to this rectangle here. All right, so we know that the height of the triangle is 4 centimeters. So that means this distance on the rectangle is also going to be 4 centimeters. So let's create the 3D text tool, 4 centimeters, 0.5 centimeters as the height, and let's place it here. And I can zoom in a bit, I'm a little bit far away. Let's click on the rotate tool, and let's rotate it vertically. Let's see if I can get this close to the edge. Yes, I can. Now remember, how far did we push this back? Well, it has a depth of 6 centimeters. So it's good to kind of keep these measurements in your head. Also, you're trying to visualize the 3D shape in your head as well. Height of 0.5, let's place it down here. Okay, so now we just have the bottom. Well, this is a good clue. If this edge is 6 centimeters, then this edge must be 6 centimeters. So let's create the 3D text tool, 6 centimeters, 0.5 centimeters, and let's place it near the edge there. And if I rotate and I zoom in, I should be able to rotate this, that. Let's place it near the edge. There we go. Okay, so what is this length? Well, have a look at some of the other sides for a clue. Let's look over here. Ah, there it is, 3 centimeters. Okay, so that's going to be easy. 3 cm, 0.5 cm, type place. Let's place it right there. Okay, have we covered all of the sides of this triangular prism? Now, how many sides does a triangular prism have? Well, it has the two bases, 1 and 2. and then it has the 3 rectangles that kind of surround it. So that's only 5 faces. Now remember, with the rectangular prisms, they were 6 faces. In a triangular prism, there are only 5 faces. So there's actually a little bit less work, isn't there? Okay, do you remember the next step? Painting. Let's click on the paint tool. Let's get that royal blue back, or whatever color you chose to signify the base. Let's paint that. Let's go to the opposite side and let's paint this. Now let's paint all of the measurements black. So let's do that. Make sure you go around to all of the sides. Go to the front. And don't forget the bottom. Now, did that actually paint? Yes, it did. Okay. So now I've painted all of the measurements. Okay. So now do you remember what to do? Making the groups. So let's click on the selection arrow tool. Let's deselect first. Always deselect before you start. Click on the front face. Hold the shift key. Click on the 3 edges that surround that triangle. Click on the label. Click on the 2 measurements, and then let go of the shift key. Right click on the group and make group. Okay. Orbit around. Click on the selection arrow tool and deselect. Click on the face. Hold shift. Click on the 4 edges. Click on the measurements, let go of the shift key, right click, make group. Okay, let's go around to the opposite base. Deselect, click on the triangle, hold the shift key, click on the 3 edges, click on the label, and click on the 2 measurements. Let go of the shift key, right click, and choose make group. Okay, let's go to the second last rectangle, I should say. Let's deselect, click on the rectangle, hold the shift key, click on the 4 edges, click on the measurements, let go of the shift key, right click, make group. All right, let's go to the bottom. Deselect, click on the bottom face, hold the shift key, click on the 4 edges, click on the 2 measurements, let go of the shift key, right click, and choose make group. Okay, so I think we're done. Okay, so you know the next step. Now's the fun part. Let's open up this triangular prism to show the net. Let's click on the selection arrow tool and deselect. Click on the front group. Use the rotate tool. And let's pull that front triangular face downwards. Nice. Okay, let's go to this side. Let's deselect, click on that group. Let's use the rotate tool. Let's go across, and let's pull that all the way down. Very nice. Okay, let's go to the back base. Deselect, click on that group. Use the rotate tool. And pull down. Okay, so you notice on this one that we didn't have to combine 2 groups together because there's really no top that's going to be left floating in the air. So let's deselect, click on the last group, and let's use the rotate tool. Okay, there we go. So now's a good time to save. So let's go to File, Save, and Let's have a look at this net from the bottom. Pretty cool looking net. And we've got all of our measurements. So as you're looking at this net, I want you to have a look if there are any congruent sides, okay? And that's really going to help us when we go to draw our net. So using our worksheet, I would like you to draw an accurate diagram of that net. Again, leave yourself lots of room for the calculations, but draw yourself that net with all of the measurements. So press pause now so that you can create a good drawing of that net. Okay, so we're back. So I hope that you've got a nice diagram of your net here. Now I didn't have a lot of space, so what I did was I just used the short form for B to show the base. Okay, so like we did in the first two examples, in the first two videos, let's always start with the base. Okay, all right, so let's begin here. Step 1, area of the base equals, well, let's have a look at what kind of shape is the base. The shape is a triangle, so make sure you use the correct formula. Area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Don't forget the divided by 2. Some people are still forgetting that part in their formula. Okay, so what is the base of that triangle? Well, let's look up here. The base is 3 centimeters. What is the height of that triangle? It's 4 centimeters. So in terms of the triangle, this 5 centimeters doesn't really help us, okay? It's an unused measurement. All right, so let's fill out the information line, the substitution line. So we have 3 times 4 divided by 2, okay? Well, 3 times 4, we don't have to show all the steps here. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6 centimeters squared. Okay, now how many bases are there? How many triangles are there? Well, there are 1, 2. So make sure you show me that you're multiplying by 2 to get the total area of those 2 triangles. Well, 6 times 2, easy calculations here, is 12 centimeters squared. Okay. Now, the rectangles, you'll notice that they're all different. That's why I labeled them rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3. Why are they different? Well, let's have a look. Rectangle 1 has a length of 6 and 4 centimeters. Rectangle 2 has a length of 6 centimeters and 3 centimeters. And rectangle 3 has a length of 6 centimeters and a width of 5. All different measurements, which means they are all 3 different rectangles. So we're going to have some separate rectangle calculations here. So area of rectangle 1 equals length times width. Now I called this rectangle 1. So length equals, let's have a look, 6 centimeters. Width is 4 centimeters. Width, 4 centimeters. Area equals 6 times 4 equals 24 centimeters squared. Now, I don't need to multiply it by anything because there's only one of that type of rectangle. So don't multiply it by anything. Okay, so that takes care of rectangle 1. So let's go on to rectangle 2. So that's going to be my third step. Area of rectangle 2 equals length times width. Length of rectangle 2 is 6 centimeters. I didn't actually get a chance to fit that in on my diagram here. 6 centimeters. Width is 3 centimeters. Area equals 6 times 3 equals 18 centimeters squared. Now there's only one of that type of rectangle, so we don't multiply it by anything. So rectangle 2 is done. Let's go on to rectangle 3. So step 4. Area of rectangle 3 equals length times width. Length of rectangle 3, they've all been 6 centimeters, haven't they? So 6 centimeters, and width of 5 centimeters. Area equals 6 times 5 equals 30 centimeters squared. Don't multiply it by anything because there's only one of rectangle 3. So, do you remember what the last step is? So in this case, we're already on step 5. Total surface area equals 12 centimeters squared. Those were the two bases, the two triangles, plus rectangle 1, which is 24 centimeters squared, plus rectangle 2, which was 18 centimeters squared, plus rectangle 3, which was 30 centimeters squared. So can you punch those into your calculator to come up with a total area? So I got an answer of 84 centimeters squared. So, after all those calculations, let's write our conclusion statement. Therefore, total surface area of this triangular prism is 84 centimeters squared. So I hope that made sense. I hope as we do more and more of these that you're becoming a little bit more independent and you can kind of beat me to the calculations. Okay, so this concludes Surface Area Supernote Part 3. Thanks for watching. Bye.